Hi, my name is David Murphy, Town Manager for the Town of Randolph, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Randolph in Action. Today, we're in Randolph's Belcher Park, a 13-acre oasis right in the center of town between Allen Street and Pleasant Street. Originally known as the Great Pasture Lot, this beautiful piece of property was donated to the town in 1907 by E. Franny Belcher. This beautiful park is home to Randolph Youth Soccer, the Cocheto Challenge Course, and the summer home of the Randolph Recreation Department. Today we're going to be joined by Director of Community Programming, Mark Craig, who's going to take us on a little tour through the park and show us all the interesting elements and the natural beauty of the park. So why don't we take a walk down and meet up with Mark. Hey Mark.
How you doing?
Good to see you. Glad you could join us today here at beautiful Belcher Park. Could you tell us a little bit about the Cocheto Challenge Course in Belcher Park?
Sure. The Cocheto Challenge Course was built in 2014 using a grant from the state of Massachusetts, a Common Backyards grant. We received $150,000 from the state of Massachusetts and $50,000 from the Community Preservation Committee, and we were able to build this amazing ropes course here in Randolph.
So tell me a little bit about the grant application. You mentioned the state money was involved, but also there was local money involved. Can you talk to me about the different components of that and how that all came together?
Sure. We discovered, myself and the town planner discovered the grant in summer of 2014 that was basically outlining a community, an urban community south of Boston that could build a playground project in a community, and we realized that Randolph was a perfect fit for the grant. We submitted two different applications, one here and one on the other side of town, and this was sort of the highlight. The state was really excited about it, but an opportunity to build a low ropes course. But we had to contribute some own funds from the town of Randolph, and so we actually talked to Community Preservation at the time and said this would be a great opportunity to engage our young people in the community, and that's what we've got here right now.
So talk to me a little bit about this particular playground, because we've built quite a few new playgrounds in town, but this appears to be, and I hope to get a chance to see a little more of it, this appears to be very unique compared to some of the other playgrounds. Talk to me about the thought process as to why we did something a little bit different than the typical traditional playground project.
Sure. This project is definitely for the older set. We have the new elementary school playgrounds that are great for that K through 5th grade range, slides, swings. This is something definitely middle school based, early high school, can really engage the young people in the community. Exciting, new, it's not a typical playground. It's something that most communities don't have in their town, and we're lucky to have it here in Randolph.
And it's open pretty regularly. There's no scheduling, there's no permit, there's no camp associated with it. If myself and my family and my friends wanted to come down, I can come down here to Belcher Park and pretty much use it any day of the week.
Yeah, about 50% of the elements here are open to anyone. We have little plaques with instructions that anyone can come up and read the instructions and be able to follow along. Now there are some elements, some of the higher activities that you would need to have someone who's ropes course facilitator trained. And for that we've rented out and had summer camps be there, as well as middle school based programs. Actually this past spring we had some middle schoolers out here too.
Okay, why don't we take a look at some of the elements and
Sure,
you can show me some of them.
So as you come up from Allen Ave, you can kind of see that there's two different sections of the park, one over here to the left and then over here to the right. So we'll actually go over here to the right.
Sounds great.
Where the majority of the elements are.
So this here is basically a layout of what the different components and elements are of the entire park. This is pretty much the key.
Exactly, yeah. It's a nice little map to give everyone kind of an overview of what's going on. As you can see, some of the higher elements are indicated by the black markings, which those are something we can't do today, but you can actually see the cords high in the trees.
And what about the other color codes? Some are in blue, some are in green. Does that determine skill level, difficulty, etc.?
The green is actually activities that anyone can come out and do at any point in time. The blue is something that you would need to have that ropes course facilitator.
Okay, let's take a look at some of them.
Sure.
This is really a beautiful park. You guys also use Belcher Park for your summer camp?
Yeah, so we moved the summer rec camp here in 2013. For a number of years it was located at one of the elementary schools and then the high school. And then when I came to Randolph, I'm more of an outdoor kind of guy. I wanted to make sure that summer camp was outside. And this is really, if you look around Belcher Park, it's a picturesque setting. This feels like kind of that 1950s camp vibe, mid-Maine, North Woods. And I really feel like that this is a unique atmosphere here in town.
So for the folks that don't know where we are, we're between Pleasant and Allen, about 13 plus acres, home of Randolph Youth Soccer. Any other information about the park that you think is important?
Yeah, also this is, from September to June, this is also the home of the Randolph Girl Scouts.
Oh, good.
So we have the Girl Scout house that has been in, I believe it started in operation in the 40s, and then recently was acquired by the town of Randolph for summer camp in the summer, and then Girl Scouts in the winter. So actually we'll get up on this element, which is over here. So as you can see, rope hanging from the top of the tree. And basically the goal of every one of these activities are actually spelled out on these identification cards. And the goal of this is actually to get your group from one side to the other. You can go a variety of ways. You can have 2 different team members helping you along, or you could cheat and use the rope too. So it's fairly simple if you have good balance, which on some days I have good balance and some days I don't. But you're basically trying to get from one side to the other.
So people of any age could participate, as long as they're tall enough to grab the rope. They could use the different elements. And
yeah, definitely. And it's something where you can actually, depending on the skill level of the group, if the facilitator saw that these are people who've done the activities before, you can actually uncouple the cord and move it in to make it a little bit harder, move it out to make it a little easier. And we always obviously have some mulch in the ground, so if you were to fall, you're not falling on rocks.
right. So some of those kids that are kind of in between, those teenagers, if you will, right? They are too old for some of the old playgrounds, the traditional 5 through 12 or the 2 through 5 playgrounds. This is really ideal for them.
Sure.
Right? Kids are always looking for something to do. Teenagers are always saying there's nothing for them to do. This is a facility they come down with a group of their friends, have a few laughs. It actually looks like some of these elements provide a pretty good workout as well too.
Yeah.
So, this seems to target kids a little bit older than the traditional playground group?
Yeah, I'd say probably the 6th grade and up.
6th grade and up.
Which coincidentally, if the younger brothers or sisters are playing soccer, the older brothers and sisters can come over here and actually use the elements.
Gives them something unique to do.
Yeah.
Why don't we check out a few of the other ones here?
Let's go over this way over here. So as you can see, a lot of the elements involve a cord at the base and then some sort of apparatus to use to climb over from one side to the other.
Sure.
But some others can be just rings. I'm not going to embarrass myself by getting on this. Even when it was built, the instructor that built it and actually trained my staff could only get about halfway on these rings. You have to have some serious upper body strength. And I have seen a few guys come up here that after talking with them, they're practicing parkour and they really wanted to work on their upper body strength and they can make it the entire way. I can do about 1 ring, so I'm not going to try.
So you'd swing from ring to ring to ring.
Exactly.
Almost like a American Ninja Warrior type workout,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that is a very popular program, and you're seeing a lot of outdoor activities that don't fit the traditional sports that people are getting into a wide range of activities. So folks that might be interested in the rock climbings and things of that nature might find this pretty interesting.
Definitely, and you can actually see, you can envision with looking at the map, you can see that you can sort of start at this behind us here and work your way, and it's a complete circuit. So you can continue on element to element until you reach the very end.
You want to check out the other elements?
Yeah,
across
we
the
can go to
street?
the other side too. So as we walk under, you can actually see some of the cords for the higher elements.
Okay.
And I can sort of explain it to you while we're going through. So this cord right here, you're actually swinging from swing to swing to try and get your entire group from this side to the other with a landing in the middle. So it takes a lot of teamwork and making sure you're comfortable with your group and you making sure that you're also trusted when you group too.
Now talk to me a little bit about the camp programs that you run. You mentioned a couple times about teams and the higher element activities. Talk to me about the formal programming. So this isn't just a facility where people can come down and use it at their leisure. There are also opportunities through the Randolph Rec Department to participate in various camps?
Yeah, so our summer rec camp is based here every day, and they use some of the lower elements throughout the summer. However, we've brought over our middle school based camp, Teen Extreme, over here, I believe 3 times this past summer, to engage in some of the higher activities because our Teen Extreme staff were all ropes course facilitator trained. So they were able to get them up and onto the higher stuff like the swing shot.
So talk to me about that ropes facilitator training. I mean, all your folks are professionally trained, certified, safety oriented. You know, if I'm going to send a child to
Yep.
this camp, they should know that, we're not just, putting kids up on ropes and everything else like that, but there is a very specific safety process that all your staff has gone through.
Yeah, we've actually done training through Project Adventure, which is a fairly substantial group that does a lot of these ropes course here in Massachusetts and New England. We did the training 2 years ago, and a number of the staff keep coming back year after year and want to work with us each summer. So they were all trained. And actually, we have to go through a certification each year, and the course is actually just certified to make sure it's still safe. So it's not like it was built and then years later if something goes wrong, you can actually have everyone keep checking year after year to make sure everything's still safe.
So not only is your staff trained, but the course itself, the physical apparatus that is the course, is also certified on a regular basis.
Correct,
too.
yeah. We're all certified, and we actually just passed inspection, which is good news.
Good.
Yeah.
It's great news.
Yeah. So obviously,
So what do we have here?
We have a rock climbing wall here, which is not just a traditional rock climbing wall. When you get to the top, you can actually, again, upper body strength, go underneath and go around.
You almost do some bouldering then, right? That's what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have some parts of the group who are actually climbing over the wall and climbing down the other side too.
Wow.
So this is something that part of the training course, you actually learn how to set, learn how to watch people. And this is where you come with group safety and group trust.
This is also very healthy for you, right? I mean, you build different muscle groups, and it's pretty much a pretty strong exercise too. I mean, the strength it requires to do some of the advanced elements of this is certainly somebody who's in pretty good shape, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
So I won't try it.
So we have a couple of other activities here. We have a whale watch, which is a balance activity, group balance activity.
What's it called?
A whale watch.
Yeah, they've got some pretty cool names of some of the elements. Why don't you tell me some of the names that you can think
So
of?
we
off the
have
top of your head?
the whale watch, the Moby Deck, which is on the other side.
Cute.
Pirates Crossing, which is basically a pirate's rope you have to get across. The swing shot, which is above us, which is pulled back and you actually get shot up about 50 feet in the air. And off the top of my head, that's all I got.
What happens? What is the? This is the whale watch.
So this is the whale watch. This is something that you can actually see. We have the locks in right now.
Okay.
If you want, we can go over to the Moby Deck.
Sure.
That actually has the balance activity that I think you and I can get on.
So these are basically team building exercises where they teach people to work together. So that if one person stands on it, much like a seesaw, it's going to go in one direction, but you have to figure out a way to work together and communicate. And
Yeah, and you can actually, depending on the level of the group, so if you're just starting out and you have some young kids who just want to play, yeah, okay, everyone balance out. But you can add a different element to it where you say, okay, everyone balance out, but you can't talk. Or everyone balance out, and I want all the people wearing shorts on one side and people wearing pants on the other, to add a different sort of element to the activity to make it not boring every time you do it. So as you can see, I mean, this is basically a giant seesaw. They have to find the center and make sure it doesn't go clang.
And how many folks would you participate in a camp program like this?
12 on here in the summer. We try and limit groups to 10 or 12 to make it easy.
So now we talked about mostly young people using this course. So let's say I own a small business in town, or and I want to do some team building. I want to do some morale boosting with my employees.
Yep.
Do I contact the Randolph Rec? Can I just come down here and use this? So I mean, are there opportunities for adult groups that can coordinate kind of the camp activities too?
Yeah, groups can come down and just use it if they'd like. However, if someone wants to actually use the higher elements, all they have to do is talk to the Randolph Rec office. Usually about a 2-month wait time, so that way we can make sure we have the appropriate amount of staff.
Okay.
And we can get it working.
So talk to me a little bit about the, what do you call it, the slingshot?
Swing shot.
The swing shot.
Yeah.
This looks like it's something else here. This looks like a thrill ride here.
Yeah,
talk to me about how this works.
You actually get up, I believe it's about 50 feet in the air. And so the swing shot, part of your group is actually pulling all the way back. And then when you feel comfortable, you press a button on your hip and you shoot out.
Okay, so they build the tension by pulling you out.
Exactly.
And then you go further and further back, and then as you let go, you'll swing out through this area here and then back. And
the way that this works is actually you pull back, your team is pulling back near the rock climbing wall.
Okay.
You go straight up.
Have you done that?
I've done it.
And what do you think?
It's exhilarating. It's pretty scary when we were just starting out, and I think I jumped up there. Not the first one. I wasn't the first one, but I was up there, maybe the second or third.
What else do you want to show us? What is this element up here?
That is a climbing wall where you actually can add different activities. Part of it, we use it for kind of a home base for activities in summer rec camp because it kind of looks like a tree fort.
Sure.
But you can do all sorts of different things where depending again on the level of the group, climb up one side or climb down the other. It's kind of like the old war movies where everyone's training in the army camp and you have to climb straight up the wall.
Sure.
And actually you get a pretty nice view of Belcher Park from up here too.
Now, is there ever an opportunity, if the town was interested, to actually add elements or add on to this based on its popularity? I mean, would you see this as something that, for example, I know Sheriff Bellotti runs a very successful rope summer camp program, and they've been out here to take a look at what we have. Do we have the opportunity to expand on this at all?
Yeah, I mean, right over this hill, there's the kind of the premier soccer field, but there's a lot of space there that the town currently owns.
And what type of elements would you see adding in the future?
I would love to see a zip line.
A zip
I
line.
would love to see a zip line. I have a lot of requests from that.
So one of the more attractive elements of Belcher Park is the pond located right in the middle of it. Mark, can you tell me a little bit about the pond here?
Sure. So like you said, the pond sort of at the Park Street entrance of Belcher Park. You can see there's some geese and some ducks in here, and all summer long, when you wake up early in the morning, you can actually hear the frogs. And then if you look out, you can actually see hundreds and hundreds of frogs here in the pond. So with camp being here, it provides an interesting element, sort of, we like to have a lot of activity, but at the same time, it's nice to just kind of sit by the pond and kind of just watch nature here in Randolph.
And this is just a natural pond. We don't do any recreation or anything else like that. It's a pretty shallow pond. It's just left in its natural state.
It is a shallow pond. I can say that I have seen winter days when I've driven through. I have seen some high school kids playing hockey on it, skating on it. It's not very deep, but it's a nice little atmosphere to just sort of skate around.
I know many years ago, the history of the town, they talked about flooding the pond within Belcher Park to do some ice hockey. So maybe at some point that's something the town can bring back. It is a beautiful location here, and otherwise pretty isolated, a great spot for skating. Like you said, it's not very deep, so maybe that's something we do consider in the future. It's a beautiful location.
It is, and it's this whole entire property being so closely located. We have the soccer fields, then the baseball fields at the bottom of the hill, the rink, the community center, everything recreation-wise seems to be in this corner of the town.
So we're coming up on the Park Street part of the park, and there seems to be some type of structure up here. Mark, could you tell me a little bit about this building here, its history, and the current use for Randolph Rec?
Sure. So we call it the Cachado Camp House, but for a number of years it was just simply known as the Girl Scout House. And the Girl Scouts still actually are there between September and June holding their meetings. A number of troops kind of call that place home. They store everything there. And as you can see, we actually are taking everything down from summer now. So our tent is being dismantled. Our picnic tables kind of go off into storage, getting ready for next year. And we have a shed up here that actually stores all of the summer camp activities and balls, equipment, and the tent and the golf cart as well.
Well, that's great. So you get pretty much 12-month use up here, not just for your summer camp, but also the Girl Scouts from a community use standpoint use this as their kind of home base?
Yeah, this is their home base. A great opportunity for them to have their meetings. Most towns don't have a space specifically for Girl Scouts or camp Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, so they can actually use a space and not feel like that they're imposing on their own homes or basement of churches. They can actually use right here.
So on a summer day, average summer day, how many kids would you see running around here through the rec summer camp?
Our summer camp has 150 kids each day. So we have 150 children in the rec summer camp, about 20 or so junior counselors, and then a little more than 25 counselors.
So there's a lot of activity here.
Yeah, there really, really is.
But take me up to the courts up here too. This looks relatively new up here. Is this something that the Randolph Rec put in?
Yeah, this was in 2013. We were able to, with CPC funds, build on an older court that had been here for a number of years, had been overgrown. We were able to build this nice basketball court, get some bleachers and get some hoops, and make sure that it was a contained environment for our summer camp, and it's used by local kids playing basketball, and actually for now it's the home to our senior pickleball. So they play here 2 times a week. They actually get the pickleball nets out. All summer long they played inside the rink, but with the rink having ice in it, they actually come out here until the weather gets too cold. Seniors are playing pickleball here.
Okay, I'll bite. Talk to me about pickleball. What is pickleball for the people at home that don't know?
Pickleball
and for me.
is halfway between tennis and ping pong. So tennis is very aerobic and you really have to be in some serious shape. Ping pong, you kind of standing there, moving your arms, so it's kind of halfway between the two. It's about half court tennis is easy way, but you're playing on a larger paddle. It's traditionally a senior activity, but it's growing in popularity all over the state. It's something that is used in Senior Olympics. There are pickleball leagues all over. I know Weymouth has a different pickleball league. For right now, we're kind of limited to just 2 or 3 games going on at once, but part of the sell of the community center is we're able to use the community center for a number of pickleball tournaments all year long.
That's great. So you mentioned this is in relatively close proximity to the future home of the community center. Talk to me about whereabouts, we stand between Pleasant and Allen right now. How would you access, what type of connection do you see between the community center property and this beautiful piece of land?
Sure, you can actually, if you can kind of see over the hill here, there's actually a small path that goes from the premier soccer field down through the AmVets parking lot, and from there you're basically in the backyard of the community center. The other way is going out down Pleasant Street and turning directly into your left where the parking lot will be.
But through that back path, you're 100 yards away? 200 yards away?
Probably about 100 yards, yeah.
It's that close, huh?
It's that close.
Oh,
you can actually see, the steel has gone up, you can actually see it from top of Pleasant Street.
So we've talked about the Cacheto Challenge course, we've talked about the rec summer camp, we mentioned basketball and pickleball and ice hockey, but Belcher Park is also home to Randolph Youth Soccer. Can you talk to me about some of the other activities that you've seen in the park?
Yeah, so besides soccer, they have the little kid soccer going up until U14 soccer here. Also, what I've noticed is driving through either on a summer day or on a nice fall day like today, is people kind of like just to come in here, park, get out, have their lunch. The overhanging trees make it so even on a 90, 95 degree day, it's nice and cool. Today is in the high 70s, and I feel nice with pants on and a short sleeve shirt. So it's just a nice little environment to sort of come and relax. It's one of those you don't feel like you're in the middle of a town. You kind of just feel like you're off in the middle of the country. You can't hear any road traffic. There's very little noise. It's just a nice place to be.
I do think it's important that we talk a little bit about some of the soccer fields and some of the organizations in town. You mentioned the scouting groups, but the Randolph Youth Soccer Association that calls this location home actually maintains this entire facility. So whether it's cutting the grass or fertilizing or making it look great, aligning the fields for all the young folks, much like the baseball and softball people do, we really have a committed group of volunteers in town that have done a phenomenal job in providing facilities for young people and sports activities. I know a lot of people that come from out of town that rave about how beautiful the soccer fields here at Belcher Park. They're really one of the better complexes that I've seen on the South Shore. My kids play soccer and we go from location to location, and I got to tell you, this is one of the prides of the town, is to just see how wonderful this facility is, and the park setting is really second to none. And I really think that groups like the Randolph Youth Soccer Association, Pete DeVere and others don't get the credit they deserve for the amount of effort that they put into providing a facility like this for young people. It really is beautiful.
Yeah, so we're overlooking the premier soccer field, and just behind us is a smaller soccer field. And then there's a practice field over in the corner. You really have just a great atmosphere, and on a Saturday morning, this place is packed. The cars everywhere, kids playing, families just really enjoying their time here in Randolph.
So if you have one sibling that's playing soccer, you could go and enjoy yourself maybe on the Cacheto Challenge course, go up, maybe shoot some basketball, play some pickleball. There's plenty to do here. Take a walk, just relax, have some breakfast or lunch, and a little bit of everything to do here in Belcher Park. Well, Mark, thank you very much for a tour of beautiful Belcher Park.
Thank you.
What can the viewers at home, how do they find out more about the programs from Randolph Rec and Belcher Park?
Sure, so Randolph Rec, visit randolphrec.com. You can get a whole bunch of information for all of our programs all year long. The rec office is actually currently in the senior center as we build the new community center. The phone number is 781-961-0939. We have a variety of trips for all ages. Upcoming, we have our basketball league. We have a variety of different activities, sports, and obviously summer is our big season, which usually starts right around February.
What a beautiful natural treasure Belcher Park is. Situated between Pleasant Street and Allen Street, it is open to the public 7 days a week with plenty to offer, from the Cacheto Challenge course to the basketball courts to the soccer fields. There's something for everybody here at Belcher Park. I strongly encourage residents to come down and take advantage of this beautiful natural treasure that really enhances the quality of life for all our residents. I want to thank Director of Community Programming Mark Craig for his participation today. I want to thank our friends at RCTV for helping us promote this beautiful park. And also I want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in to another episode of Randolph in Action. Thank you.